Hey everyone, this is a video to show the Goldwill Goodmine I hit when I was out touring around on Valentine's Day with my friend doing a little thrift venture. These first few records came from the first Goodwill we hit. That wasn't the Goldmine there, but you can see this one is it's interesting. It's and now XX3. It's basically just a lot of sort of old jazz things, a lot of weirdness mixed into it.
No, Jipper, you never argue about that. His instrument's it must have been the instrument. So no matter what the kind of instrument there is, what is it?
You know, so nothing too special. This is, I guess it's Tizik. Just a lot of good sort of, 80s kind of jazz fusion. This is kind of neat. 20th century flute music. We've got some Varese on there as well as a lot of other pieces. One of them, I haven't listened to this one yet, but there's one on here that's Kinetics 3 for flute and electronic sound. I'm excited to listen to that one. Then just pick this one up for the cover. It's your standard 80s fare, but it's not too bad. It's a nice cover. This one I also got at that first Goodwill. This is a local Vermont group. It's from 1974. It's Banjo Dan and the Midnight Plowboys. Through the wet grass on her stallion she glides. You know, they wanted $3 for this, but I figured it was local and I like the look of the cover as well for a local album, so picked it up. Now the real honey hole though came from the second Goodwill. We went there and every record they had was, something of note. So we'll just go through these. A lot of them I took a chance on because, you see a name you haven't heard of, but you go by the picture. It's Gene Clark, the Collector's Series early LA sessions. Listen to this. It's kind of, early sort of sing-songy, the male crooner kind of turning into rock and roll, but well, now she wasn't no loser. If you'll investigate, wouldn't say too much about it. There's Michael Murphy, Swans Against the Sun. Once again, went by the picture there because that's what we're looking for. Now, the Pure Prairie League, they had a bunch of their albums there, and I've seen them around, but I haven't given them a shot really, and this is their first album, so I figured that'd be a good place to start. See them around everywhere, so if it turns out I like them, won't be hard to find. Moody Blues, they had everything from Seventh Sojourn and To Our Children's Children. I had most of them. This one I picked up just because it was in relatively decent shape. Especially for $1. Jean-Luc Ponty, the violinist. I think this is... It's 78, so it's not going into his 80s stuff yet, but it's just great jazz fusion with nuts violin. James Taylor, I've seen this one around, but not for $1 yet. I figured it was worth it to pick up because he's a rad dude, especially on this gatefold. He's a rad dude. Follow his rad dudeness from front to back there. No one's hurt you, nothing's wrong. Donovan, this is Open Road. I've seen this one before, but never picked it up. Is this one? Yeah, this one the radness spreads across as well. You can't beat an album where you can get the full radness spread from cover to cover there. The lovely lady in her flame, soft-eyed. I have Disraeli gears, and these ones weren't in great shape, but anytime you see 2 copies of Disraeli gears at a Goodwill, it's worth to get just for decoration at $1 a piece. So, the same time, they had 3 copies of Moby Grape's first album. I already have this as well, but I figured I'd pick up one of them because they had 3 of them. So. Steve Miller Band number 5. I actually like a lot of Steve Miller Band's early album covers. They're relatively simple in concept a lot of times, but they just, I don't know. If you ask me, it just looks cool. This is what I'm looking for when I look for albums. You know, small detailing in lines. You know, more drastic sort of photographs. You know, you usually can tell when you look at an album, you look at a photo and see something like this in there. There's a bit of artistry in it. It's worth getting. Worth listening to. It's the case with a lot of the ones coming up. Steppenwolf Monster, I already had this one, but once again, is this one gate? Yeah, the cover's in not great shape on this one, but you gotta love that Steppenwolf cover. This one's actually, this is my older copy that has a chunk missing from the corner. The one I found at the Goodwill didn't, and so I swapped them out. New Riders of the Purple Sage. We're still talking $1 each here, which is good. You know, Gypsy Cowboy I already had, so I bought it as a duplicate. When it all comes around again. Home Home on the Road. I already had, so I bought it as a duplicate. Around the bend, round to the two-door you go. Brujo, they had 2 copies of that, and I didn't have it, so I bought one, and now I have one as a duplicate. Also, Oh What a Mighty Time. This is in '75, which is getting late for them, so it'll be interesting to hear what they're doing on this album. Sorry I never loved you, we were strangers on the train. And they had Skip Batten's first solo album, and he played with New Riders of the Purple Sage, so that should be an interesting listen. I got the greens, I got the ups and the downs and the in-betweens. I've got one by Roy Wood, who was of The Move, and that was just very interesting. So I'm interested in, you know, the solo work of these people as well. Flying Burrito Brothers, Flying Again. Why baby, why baby, why baby, why you make me cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry. This is actually the copy I had. It was a duplicate, and I swapped it out because the other one was better. You can see this one has had a rough time. Flying Burrito Brothers, Airborne. A bit of love that takes you higher. Looking good, didn't have that one. Then Gene Parsons' first solo album. He was of Flying Burrito Brothers. Once again, classy gatefold. Very classy. And I traveled that road. Quicksilver Messenger Service, What About Me? Really fun drawing on the cover. It's just, it's melding together, man. It's melding, it's great. I just love it. A great concept. Looking good on the inside too there. Richard Betts, I think his name is usually something else like Richard Betty or Betty Richards or something, but he played with the Allman Brothers Band, I believe, after Dwayne Allman left, so this is a good find. Anything by the band is always good, always welcome. Simple cover, but a good cover, recognizable. Buddy Miles with Them Changes. I'd only ever seen this for $5 somewhere else, and I saw it somewhere else, but not this neato version of the cover with the leather texture to it. So. Good one. Lee Michaels' first album. He's a rock organist. He usually performed organ with someone playing the drums. I can't remember who. Bartholomew Smith Frost. I don't know if that was consistent. Didn't really say there, but yeah, it's a good first album. And also his live album, which you can see I had a copy that's not in terrific shape, so. Good find live album. Leslie West. I never would have thought I'd see Leslie West at a Goodwill. You know, of Mountain. This was the album he did before Mountain, and had a lot of the personnel from Mountain on it. As well as the great Fatsby. He's one of my favorite fat rockers. Fat rockers. I mean, you know, MC5. I don't know if he was actually that fat. I saw some live footage. He always looked fat in the pictures, though. Wild Weeds. It featured someone of NRBQ. I can't remember because I haven't read up enough.
Left me, my baby left me. My baby even left me. Never said.
Another awesome find. Balaclava. It's a 1968 psychedelic album, sort of minimalistic, but with some interesting effects going on.
To another land, land without shame.
They had two copies. I probably should have picked up both, but I didn't know what to expect. For some reason, I was thinking it was that Deep Purple album when I grabbed it. You know, with the, I don't know if it's the same artist, but you know, on the front. KGB, that's got Mike Bloomfield and Carmen Apiece.
Midnight rain, we're living on the end of the line.
It's alright, it's relatively solid, it's nothing great, but, you know, it looks awesome, and that's where he was. Now we've got Sylvester and the Hot Band, a little vintage training action going on here. With a drag action, I guess you would say. And of course, a poster. Have to find somewhere special on my wall to hang that. Alright, coming up to the cream of the crop here at the end. This was about $40 worth of $1 records. You know, all at the same Goodwill, except for those first few. Stone Ground. I haven't listened to it yet, but it's 1972, and that cover is just an awesome cover. It's just great. And here's the Rad Bunch themselves. Dreams. I got their first album for $7. I finally caved before I left Savannah on that one, and you know, now I've made up. I always do. I equalize, so I paid $1 for this, $7 for that. It's like I paid $4 for each, and that's totally a fair price because they have. Starts out a little traditional horn band, but then by, you know, like a lot of albums, by the time you're starting to get to the end, it's just these crazy funks that draw you in. So, awesome one. You can't beat this. Even if it doesn't sound great, there's about 1 million college kids out there who'd love to hang this on their wall.
I got a girl that's pretty, never gonna last long.
It's hilarious. Have one for yourself. Elephant's Memory. Their first album is, for whatever reason, it's my favorite album in totality. That's the one that has Super Heap and Hot Dog Man, things like that. And this one, it doesn't have the same power for me, but it was produced by John and Yoko. Is that? No, that's not him right there. But yeah, produced by John and Yoko, because this was the band that backed them on their Sometime in New York tour. And you can tell it's solid. It's got a lot of sort of off-ranting things. It's an awesome album. And then this one was a big $2. It was a big spender. It's Chicago's Carnegie Hall Collection 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I've seen plenty of Chicago in my search for records, but never a 4-record set of live material. So anyway, thanks for taking a look. That was Goldwill Goodmine. Goldwill Good Finds. Thanks for watching.